ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. Namaste to everyone. This is a wonderful opportunity to once again share with all of you what I have been taught. And this time the topic is a small Upanishad called Kali Santarana Upanishad. We will see what that means presently. Just to give a flavor, the Upanishad comes in all sizes, just like people, big, small, tall, short, and medium-sized. And so this one is a small Upanishad, but nonetheless, its importance cannot be highlighted enough, especially considering the times in which we live. The big Upanishads, such as the Chandogya and the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, which are the biggest among the Upanishads, they deal with a variety of topics. They deal with what is called upasana, meditation, purification of the mind, the heart, in order to gain self-knowledge, because the gain of the self-knowledge is not possible until the raga and dvesha, strong preferences and prejudices, have been banished from the heart, have been settled, have been overcome, have been managed, mastered. So the upasanas help one to prepare the heart for the self-knowledge to sit in, and even to be able to sit and listen, we need this preparation. Then certain other topics, the other topic is Brahma Vidya. Brahma Vidya means the knowledge that one is Brahman, the whole of Brahman, not a part of Brahman, not a little flicker of Brahman, but one is Brahman. Brahman being Ishvara, Bhagavan, God, the cause of the universe. So, in other words, in one sentence, the message of the Upanishad is what? One is non-separate from Ishvara, the cause of the universe. This is the message. So there is, this message is conveyed through stories, anecdotes, and various pedagogies. Pedagogies means various methodologies of how to convey that. Because see, this is Vedanta in a way. Vedanta means the knowledge of the self, that which comes at the end of the Veda. In a way, is a big joke, because Vedanta does not say you have a problem at all. It says you are fine, you are free, you are whole, you are without a second. You are, in other words, non-separate from God. So what problem can be there? There cannot be any problem at all. But then the person coming to study says, oh, but, I am sad, I suffer from sorrow, I suffer from fear, I suffer from low self-esteem, I suffer from the inability to grow out of certain things. I suffer from addictions. I suffer from slights, slings, and arrows of outrageous fortune. The person coming to Vedanta says that. And so the pedagogies, the ways of teaching have of the Upanishad are crafted to remove a problem that is not really there. Because in the eyes of the Upanishad, you are free. You are not frail. You are free. You are free of sorrow, free of frustration, free of fear, free of greed, free of anger, free of anything that you don't want to be. You are already free. But how to understand this? That is why, because this freedom is hidden from oneself, That's why there is the need for various pedagogies to, to have a multi-pronged approach on this strange being called self-ignorance. I don't know myself. Oh, it's so strange. You don't know yourself. Yes, I don't know myself. And yet one goes to a stranger to listen to to listen about oneself. So this is another paradox. So like this, there are the whole thing is a big joke. It's a series of paradoxes, and this comprises the subject matter of the Upanishads. And so the big Upanishads have a lot of space to bring in pedagogies. Various kinds of pedagogies are there. The three states of being. We take something universal like sleeping, dream, and waking. And this sleeping, dream, waking is something which is, universal to everybody. Everybody has a sleep state, waking state, dream state, and everybody can relate to this because it is experiential. And so this forms the basis for a very important pedagogy deployed in the Mandukya and certain other Upanishads also, primarily in the Mandukya Upanishad. And what is that? That the sleeper is you, of course, because you are the one who went to sleep, you are the one who woke up, you are the one who had the dream, you are the one who is recalling the dream. And so, therefore, sleeper is you, dreamer is you, waker is you, but you are not just the waker, you are not just the sleeper, you are not just the dreamer. In fact, the waker, dreamer, sleeper is all upheld by that awareness which is you. Because you say, I am aware that I was asleep, I am aware that I had a dream, now I am awareful that I am awake. So that awareness itself is the witness of the sleep, dream, and waking states. But it is not any one of them. It blesses all of them without becoming any one of them. This is a very important pedagogy. So, like this, there are many other pedagogies, many other ways of teaching. And then one more important one is Karya Karana Prakriya, the cause effect pedagogy. So the effect, which is this whole universe, is non-separate from the cause, which is Brahman, which is God. And so the effect is non-separate from the cause, but the cause has not become the effect. Just like the pot is non-separate from clay, the whole pot is clay, but clay is not pot. Clay can be in the form of a figurine, clay can be just lying on the road in a lump, clay can be in the form of another pot, a lid, etc., etc. So this is how this is how the Upanishads reveal the truth of the I, the Atman, and the revelation is primarily through a process of negating what is not, because there is a tendency to take on what is not and think of oneself as a bunch of is not. I am not good enough. I am not wealthy enough. I am not accomplished enough. I am not erudite enough. I am not rich enough. So, all these things that I think I am not, I'm actually not. And all these things I think I am, I also am not. And this is what has to be removed before the knowledge of the self, which, like the self, is self evident and which comes to the fore no matter what, before that is revealed, this has to be removed. So, after this is removed, then certain words are used in order to affirm what one already wants to be, what one somewhere inside the heart knows one already is, even though one cannot reach that. This is what is the subject matter of the Upanishads. And the subject matter of the Upanishads is only one thing alone, which is self knowledge. Self-knowledge alone is the subject matter of the Upanishad. There is no other thing that is the subject matter. It is to correct the ideas of the self, which one has gathered in the process of just growing up. And why has one gathered these impressions? One has gathered these impressions because one does not know. The self is not totally unknown, because you cannot make a mistake upon a totally unknown self. And the self is not totally known either, because you cannot make a mistake on a totally known self either. So it is somewhere in between. This self is somewhat known, and therefore it becomes a sitting duck for all kinds of impressions, like the rope lying in the grass in twilight. And so it is twilight, so it's kind of hazily seen. So therefore, there is a mistake projected on that partially known rope. The partially known rope alone becomes the locus of an error, attracts a mistake, because it is difficult in that dull light, in that low light situation, to find out what it is. So therefore, the projection, because it looks like a snake, it has three bends, and then perhaps the rope is frayed in the beginning, and so we think that, yeah, this must be a snake. So then, upon going closer and shining the light, we understand it is a rope. So too the self is not completely unknown, because it is self-evident. I know I am. If I ask the question, are you here? Of course you will say yes. You will not say, I'll get back to you tomorrow. Nobody will say that, because the answer is right there. Yes, I am here. This is what the answer is. If I am already here, that means what? That means that I don't have I don't suffer from self non-evident. I don't have a non-evident self. I have a self-evident self. That means I am here and I know it. I am here, Sat. I know it, Chit. How long do you know it? I know it all the time. Ananda, Ananta, never ending knowledge of myself as self evident I. And so, this understanding of myself as self evident I becomes the basis for this knowing that I am one with the cause of the universe. It's just so wonderful. And this becomes the subject matter of the Upanishad. And that's why the word Upanishad itself has in it the ingredients of what it is and what it does. First, we look at the root verb shadl, but shad for short. Shad has three meanings. One is that which disperses, visharati, that which uproots, avasadayati, and then that which takes you, gamayati, that which leads you. So what does it disperse? It disperses wrong notions of the I, as we discussed. The subject matter of the Upanishad is that which disperses wrong notions of the I. What if the wrong notions come back? That's why it disperses the wrong notions by uprooting the cause, which is self knowledge, by making you shed all the wrong notions. And then it takes you. Where does it take me? It takes you to the to that oneness with the cause of the universe, with everything else. So therefore, it takes you to Brahman. Brahma Gamayati. These are the established meanings of the word shad. That which makes you shed is shad. Therefore, I always say, especially for a Western audience, it should be called Upanishad. Yes, that is what it is. It makes you shed the wrong notions and of oneself. It makes one shed all the wrong notions. And so here, the words upa and ni are prefixes. Upa means near. The word near is relative. So from where I sit, the computer is near. From the standpoint of the room, the city is near. And from the standpoint of the city, something else is near. So near, 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 from the standpoint of the planet, the moon is near. So what is this near? Near here should be taken as nearest. That which is nearest to you, that which is dearest to you, that means nearest and dearest is yourself alone. Oneself alone is the subject matter of this Upanishad. So upa plus ni. Ni means nishchayena, definitely. In the word itself is a promise that the self ignorance which leads me to confuse myself for a finite mortal being subject to fear and sorrow is dropped. That by which these conclusions are dropped, and they will be what? Definitely dropped. That is the purpose of the prefix ni. And then the whole word has one more suffix, quip. Quip pratyayanta, it is called. Quip is a very funny suffix because what does quip do? It equips the word Upanishads to become an agent. Perhaps that's why it is called quip. And so what does it do? It does that and then it goes away. So it's like a silent suffix which has a function, but then you don't see the remnant of it hanging anywhere. So Upanishad means that which does the job of dispersing self-ignorance, uprooting self-ignorance and taking you to Brahman. This is what it is. Very, very nice. And so it is like, the last ER, actually it should be Upanishad plus ER. That, it's like that agent now, like doer, the one that does. And so Upanishadar it should be, but that ER is silent. That ER is the quip pratyaya, the quip suffix. It is silent. You know why it is silent? It is silent because even in English we have certain words like the one who does, doer, the one who karta, the one who eats, eater, the one who sleeps, sleeper, the one who wakes, waker, the one who cooks. You can't say cooker unless you're referring to the vessel that cooks, but you can't call the person a cooker. Cook, the cook, cooks. Oh, you're having a wedding? So who is doing? Oh, we have a cook who is going to come and cook for everybody. And so like this, so this is that ER is silent. So the word Upanishad also is like that, where the agent suffix is very much silent. And this is what makes the Upanishad. And then we have two more words in the title, Kali Santarana. We'll take Santarana first. Sam means Samyak, very well. Tarana, crossing. Swimming in the sense of crossing, from through to cross. Tarati, crosses. Like we have this in the Chandogya Upanishad also. Tarati, Shokam Tarati Atmavit. Shokam Taratyatmavit. The knower of the self, Atmavit, knower of the self, crosses sorrow. The knower of the self crosses sorrow. This is very, very nice. And so, if the knower of the self crosses the sorrow, let me become the knower of the self. This kind of an interest is created from that very sentence in the Chandogya Upanishad, in the 7th chapter of the Chandogya Upanishad. And so here, Santarana means nicely crossing, easily crossing. And what do you mean by easily crossing? Crossing something without becoming cross in the process. That is what is easily, effortlessly crossing. Otherwise, while crossing, one can become cross, one can become agitated, one can become frustrated, one can become dejected, one can become hopeless, one can just say, oh, I don't, I can't do this, I don't want this, I can't, all these doubts, one can become a doubter. So, effortlessly, without getting into any of these situations, being able to cross very, very easily. Cross what? That is the question. And the subject matter of the crossing is called Kali. Kali means lot of things. Where shall we start? Kali means conflict. Kali means strife. Kali means competition. That too, the kind, not just healthy competition, so that you understand who, you can just sort of match your prowess with another in a friendly way. No, it's a cutthroat competition. Kali means this kind of a scheming. Kali means a lot of things are not what they seem. They are all hidden. That's another meaning of the word Kali. Things are under the surface. And this is somehow one has experienced this, I'm sure, where somebody that seems to be very friendly on the face of it, but somehow keeps undercutting your effort from behind. And so that is also called, that tendency to do that is also included in Kali. And Kali means lot of anguish. Kali is anguish, Kali is deception, Kali is fraud, committing fraud, all these things. And so that, this is a kind of a horrible word, horrible word. And where did it come from? It comes from a particular time period called Kali Yuga. Yuga is a particular time period, and so Kali Yuga. We'll see Yuga in detail, what Yuga means. And so this Kali Yuga is this huge swath of time, and actually it's the smallest of the four yugas. We have four yugas, and it's the smallest of the time periods, clocking in at only 436,000 years. So, and where are we? Somewhere in the beginning. How do you know this? How do you know we are somewhere in the beginning? Why can't we say we are at the end? Oh, well, because there is, whenever you do puja or a homa, there is a sankalpa. Sankalpa means a statement of intentionality. And you take a flower and a few, yellow rice coated in turmeric, and you take that akshata, and then you clasp the right hand on the left hand and state the intention for which this puja or this yajna is being made. And there the priest asks you to repeat after repeat after me, the priest says, Kali Yuga, I am doing this in Kali Yuga. Prathame Pade, in the first quarter. And that's what you say now. And that's what your grandfather said. That's what your great grandmother said. That's what your great 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 grandmother said. And that's what even Adi Shankara probably said. And so, like this, this is, it is still in the first quarter. Because 400,000 years means 436,000 years means what? So each one is, each one is 108 and a half thousand years. That's a lot of, years. And so like this, so 108,000 years. And so that's why we are still in the first quarter. And so all the things that we talked about, the meaning of Kali is there in this yoga. I mean, I don't even need to prove this. Just pick up even yesterday's newspaper and read. Okay. Yeah. And then you will see there is fire over here, there is conflict, and this Ukraine Russia war. I mean, how long is it going to go on? We don't know, but it's going on and on and on. And then there is some other conflict and clashes somewhere else. There is, of course, racial some problems, and then people are fighting against that. And then there is the women's issues, and people are fighting against that. And then there is inflation, and not just in one country, but in so many countries. And COVID 19 is becoming COVID 2022. Okay, COVID 22 it has become. And COVID 19 means, it should have finished in 19, but no, it began in 19, and it is outlasting the number of years the Spanish flu basically lasted. Compared to COVID 19, the Spanish flu flew by really. But still, these are all the things that surround one. And living in these circumstances, because one is a product of the culture, or of the world culture really, and of the circumstances of one's birth and of one's surroundings, one cannot but help be affected. And then there is, we see this in the younger generation. We see the ability to focus, the inability to focus for more than 5 minutes at a time. And as though conspiring with, with the presiding devata of Kali Yuga, there are all these devices to make that already small attention span smaller and smaller and smaller. You have all these smartphones, you have tablets. When I was growing up, tablets is what you took when you were sick. Yeah, so, and now the current day tablets make you sick. That's the only difference. And so this is Kali Yuga. This is what it is. And then, if we look at the situation here, and then we find that there is one, if we want to describe Kali Yuga in one sentence or one word, it would just be dharma, or the lack thereof. Why are all these things allowed to happen? Because the ethical component is very weak. People are not governed by ethics, morality of any kind, which is called dharma. The desire to do the right thing is not there. And as though that was bad enough, the desire to do the wrong thing is very much there, is overpowering the person. So this dharma is not there in any of its iterations. We have Samanya Dharma, that which is universally right and wrong, that is also not there. One knows it is wrong to kill, yet there are so many people just dying at the hands of one another. And then one knows it is wrong to hurt, still so many people are hurting others, defrauding others. And even though it is wrong, these are all what is called Samanya Dharma. Vishesha Dharma, time specific iteration, space specific iteration of Samanya Dharma, that also is not there. That also appears to be gone. There are no rules, governing behaviors of groups anymore. And there is just and between orderliness and anarchy, there is just a hair's difference. Between orderliness and anarchy, you saw what happened. We all saw what happened in Sri Lanka. One minute they had a government, another minute the whole country was swimming in the president's pool and in the personal pool of the mansion of the president. So, like this, there is just nothing that governs the behavior of the people anymore. There is no self-governing either. There is no sense of swadharma, finally. Swadharma is the iteration of that righteousness that expresses in the form of the voice of Bhagavan in one's heart. And so This is, this is what is Kali Yuga. And if we look at the traditional, in the Dharma Shastra and all, the Kali Yuga is represented by an uncouth male with one leg, and then standing on one leg, and then kind of teetering, and then looking for support. And then anybody goes to support him, then he catches hold of them and swallows them up, and is full of skin diseases, and not looks smiles at you, but then plots something behind your back. This is how the Kali is embodied and depicted. And so here, this in one word, Kali Yuga is where dharma has totally and completely fled. And with the fleeing of dharma, if dharma flees, then what else remains? Nothing can remain, because there is no way of conducting one's affairs. So this is what is Kali Yuga. And then here one more thing, this is, in the Hindu almanac, we have not a linear concept of time. This is something which is very important to remember. Usually, in many theologies, it's just a linear concept of time from the beginning, somewhere wherever that beginning is marked, from that to some kind of an apocalypse and the end. That's all. So we don't have that, and in a way, thank God, because it is not it doesn't come to an end like this. And so then one might think, oh, do we have a cyclical concept of time? Because we have, there are certain things, certain calendars, like the ancient Mayan calendar, I think is cyclical in nature. To this also, I will say no. We do not have in the Vedic tradition, in the Hindu tradition, a cyclical concept of time either. Then what do we have? We have we can call a pendulum, like a pendular concept of time. So, which goes from Satya Yuga. Satya Yuga is a ideal, typical situation where where dharma is completely in power, and no one lies, no one takes away anybody's property, and everything is very, very well run. In fact, we don't know much about Satya Yuga at all other than this, because really there is nothing to talk about, because nothing is wrong. Everything is just wonderful. And then from there is a little bit slacking of dharma. So we have what is called the Treta Yoga, where 3/4 of the dharma prevails, 1/4 is gone. This is the age of the Ramayana, Rama, Krishna, Rama and Lakshmana, all these people. Then from there we have Dwapara Yuga, and then we have Lord Krishna, etc., Mahabharata, and then we have Kali Yuga. Then after that, you can't immediately go to Satya Yuga, because the morality is so bad, and the ethical, there is no ethics to talk about at all. So from Kali Yuga, you go back to Dwapara Yuga, then go back to Treta Yuga, then go back to Satya Yuga, then again come to Treta, Dwapara, Kali, Dwapara, Treta, Satya, like this, because the dharma has to, the dharmic quotient has to slowly build up, that is being lost. Very interesting, we find also the yugas being depicted by a bull. The bull stands for dharma, and in the Satya Yuga, the bull is standing on all four legs, firmly the feet planted on the ground. Then in Treta Yuga, the bull is standing on three legs, a little bit this way, but it is still standing on three legs. Then in the Dwapara Yuga, the bull is standing on two legs. How can the bull stand on two legs? Well, it is somehow. We have to perhaps say that it is the diagonal leg, somehow it is balancing. one hind foot, one hind leg, and one foreleg. It is balancing on that. Then finally, in the what is that called? In the Kali Yuga, it is standing on one leg. How can it stand on one leg? Well, that's why it is dharma is teetering and tottering. It is not here really, but it is here just a little bit. How do you know it is here just a little bit? Because we are having satsang. That's how we know. Here we are all gathered together online and in person wherever possible, and then we are listening to this. We are sharing this knowledge and listening to this. So that is that one leg of the dharma. So each time we do this, we are strengthening that leg. We are making it, we are making it do some strengthening exercises so that it can uphold this yoga ever so feebly, but firmly. Let it uphold the yoga. And then some more things we have to see about this Kali Yuga, etc., before we enter into the Upanishad. And we'll do that at the next talk. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you. Have a blessed day. Om Namah Shivaya.
We would like to thank very much Swamini Svatmavidyananda. Let's give her a big hand. And she will continue in the evening satsang as well as in the coming days. So we'll go over the schedule for today. There is a yoga class at 8 for all levels on the Bay platform. 9:45 brunch, 11 ashram tour, living from reception. 12 to 1:30 workshop with Pranava Chaitanya on the joy of right living with the yamas and yamas in the Annapurna Devi house. 4, the afternoon yoga class in the Bay platform. 5:45 dinner. 7, the Gita Parayana in the main temple. And 8, evening satsang, continuing the program on the Kali Santarana Upanishad. Tomorrow we start Essentials of Meditation course with Swami Shambhu Devananda. This is a 5-day course that is offered here on site.